You're watching The Mic Check, powered by VAU Networks.
Hello and welcome, everybody, to this week's VAU Mic Check. Today we're focusing on telling the story between the lines. This is going to be another character read, but it's going to be hopefully a more in-depth one. Hopefully we're going to have a really, really good, I have a feeling we're going to have a really, really good discussion about who this character is, about what's going on, and without I can't even talk. Why does this happen every single week? Like, I call myself a voice actor. I can't words. All right. This week, Richard has volunteered to go first. So, Richard, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
All right. We'll give our best shot here. No, wait, guys. I have an idea. A better idea. There's this facility, right? And it was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like, something could blow a hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench, because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know how exactly this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess. I can think. Guys, wait, I have another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar. That's a guy. Cliche, right? But the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy, nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work. Complete nonsense. But it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something, germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
All right. Who's going next?
Well, Golda, I'm going to put you on the spot today. How's that?
Okay, sounds good. All right. No. Wait, guys, I have an idea. A better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could be just be the Marianas Trench, because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology. I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know how exactly this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess I can think. Guys, I have another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar. That's a guy. Cliche, right? But the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy, nutty professor type. Nutty inventions that don't work. Complete nonsense. But it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a germ with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
All right. Who's going next? Golda, you get to choose who goes next.
That would be me. Oh, sorry. Leonard.
Okay. No, wait, guys. I have an idea, a better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like, something could blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench, because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? I don't know. I don't really know how exactly this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess I can think. Guys, I had another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar. That's a guy. Cliche, right? But like the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy, nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work, complete nonsense, but it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something. Okay, let's go, John.
Okay. No, wait, guys, I have an idea, a better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by somebody at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from apocalypse. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N. That the hole could just be the Marianas Trench because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know how exactly this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess I can think. Guys, I have a better idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar that's a guy. Cliche, right? But like, the idea here is I just run with it. Crazy, nutty professor type. His inventions don't work, complete nonsense, but it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
All right. Who's going next?
How about you?
Me. Okay. No, wait, guys. I have an idea. A better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N. That hole could just be the Marianas Trench because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology. I think, cliche, right? I don't really know how this exactly fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. Guess. I can think. Guys, I had another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar that's a guy. Cliche, right? But like, the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy, nutty professor type. Nutty inventions that don't work, complete nonsense, but it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something. See, Alan hasn't gone, right?
Okay. No, wait. Guys, I have an idea. A better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at the time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like, something could blow a big hole in the earth. And after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench. Because the facility can do pretty much anything. With physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? I don't know exactly how this fits into the story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess I can think. Guys, I have another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar. That's a guy. Cliche, right? But like, the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy, nutty professor type. Nutty inventions that don't work. Complete nonsense. But it's all working. Guys, this guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar, germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
All right, and that's everybody, right? Because I know Dan is only watching right now. So I believe that's all of the performances, correct?
Okay.
I'll take the silence as a yes.
Yeah, unless your phone has another read, then here's the phone.
My phone is strictly an observer in this whole thing. Now, so it just helps me see what's going on with people because I don't have a screen in here. But, okay. Good reads, everybody. Now, there's a reason I presented this the way that I did. Tell me about this character. Go ahead. Everybody, tell me a little bit about who this character is just from what you read.
He is someone who's trying really hard to be successful in a new environment, and he's really, really, or she is really, really nervous, scared, sure they're, but they gotta get it right.
Character a writer?
I imagine him as brainstorming with a team of video game development.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was thinking either that or alternatively a guy with his D&D crowd putting together a scenario.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Not
definitely
bad.
either writing or video game or
Pretty good.
D&D. But just with the number of commas and his whole, I think I can think, it seems like he's trying to prove himself a little bit here.
So,
He's talking faster than he's thinking.
Definitely talking faster.
although I visualize this guy as being younger, in the
Yeah.
sense that, you know, these aren't like, in my view, he's not as mature as like a 20-something who's got a job at a video game company. It's more like a young teenager in my head. I don't know, just
Yeah, he's the 20-something-year-old who's stuck in his mom's basement playing D&D with his friends.
well, yeah, it could be that.
Hey, listen, guys. I got the best thing ever. This is so sick.
So then, I like how you pulled out a specific like ideal of who. Like, sorry, again, talking right into the microphone. I shouldn't be doing that. A specific ideal of like who this character is, but I want to hear very specific character traits. That's what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking for the different traits that you hear in this voice, in this character. Like from what's being written, from what's being said, how would you describe this person's character traits?
Smart, but no social skills.
Okay.
He strikes me as really nervous. Or she. Yes. Character is very nervous.
He wants to
Okay.
impress somebody.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has what I have, ADD. He's going from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, and none of it's making any sense.
Okay. Anything else?
Indecisive.
Yeah,
Indecisive. Okay.
Yeah, doesn't think things. Starts speaking before he's finished his thought or her thought.
Impulsive.
Not very secure.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Lack of confidence, yeah, definitely.
So, like I said, leading up to this in the chats and whatnot, this came from the SCP Wiki. And what the SCP Wiki is it's basically a group writing project, a group creative writing project, based around building the fiction of a facility or an organization dedicated to containing anomalous objects and phenomena. And this is actually the transcript, this particular item right here, for those of you who are into the SCPs, this is SCP 2020, if this didn't already, if you didn't already know.
So what's SCP again? I'm sorry.
So it's basically a group writing project that's headed by a lot of people. You can find it at scp-wiki.net, I believe it is. And it's written like transcripts or excerpts from official files from an organization dedicated to containing and securing things that are highly anomalous and highly just really, really weird. So this particular excerpt comes from an object that is actually, well, it's not an object, it's actually an alien being that looks like one of those, like you know, those fake Roswell aliens, like the grays that are all like, you know, stuffed with cotton and covered in plastic and whatnot. Well, it looks like that, and it's built like that, but it's actually a living creature that just comes up with sci-fi stories over and over again. And it just tries to talk to the people around it, telling it its ideas for sci-fi stories. And it can never quite focus on one of them. So all of the character traits that you put out there of being completely indecisive, unfocused, ADD, everything like that was all perfect. That was all spot on with who this character actually was. So I'm glad we've got to that point where we can actually pull out who the character is from this particular, you know, script. So good on y'all for doing that. Now,
Did we mention that he's a male?
it's genderless, but sure, if you want to call it male, you can call it male. If you want to call it female, you can call it female.
I guess it could be, but I see, I don't know, that particular character, I don't know, I always visualize it mostly as guys. I guess it could be a female, though.
Yeah, this is definitely well, I mean, this is a more genderless character, even though it's more stereotypically male.
Yeah, it
But-
is more. I was gonna say it's more stereotypically male, but
Yeah,
That's
it is
the
more
word- yeah, that's the word I
stereotypically
was
male.
looking for.
But it can be played by a female actor, and it could probably be played pretty well. Just, you know, somebody's got to make some decisions. That's all. But now that we've sort of focused in on what this character, on what this person's character traits are, now we got to talk a little bit more about the deliveries. So, what did you all notice during all the read-throughs that brought this character out? Like, what did you notice anything from somebody else's read that really made this character stand out a bit more? Really made something in particular about this character stand out a bit more? What did you guys notice from the reads as we went through them?
The reads that worked better for me were the ones that had the character a little on the frantic side.
Okay.
I started off it pretty much full tilt frantic from the beginning, but then I sort of enjoyed the reads where it built the level as it went on. You were one that did that, but it seemed to work a little better. There was a lot of kind of nervous energy, and like I said, I guess frantic's the best word for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a similar thing. Like some people went a little more thoughtful with the, I guess I can think, that sort of thing. And I felt the thoughtful approach didn't feel in character for me.
Okay. Anything else? Any other particulars of any of the reads that stuck out to you when it came to the characterization?
I think he was enthusiastic. Every single idea he had, he was really enthusiastic about until he had another one.
Mhm.
or at least he was enthusiastic until he got to the point where he was
He
like,
ran out of ideas to be enthusiastic about.
that's not right. Okay.
Well,
So that
yeah,
that
I mean, I like the reads where he brought the person on a little bit of an emotional roller coaster. He's kind of inside his head, you know, and so yeah, I like the frantic part, but he's not to me, he's not frantic all the time.
Yeah.
Well, there was something real interesting that was brought up that by Richard, that the ideas sort of start and then they lose steam,
Yes.
right? Like that seems to be the common theme with all these different premises that he's throwing out there. That it starts off with some steam and starts off with some enthusiasm and then loses it at the end.
Yeah, my impression of that was he comes up with an idea, is totally gung-ho for it. Then when the brain actually kicks in and starts thinking, he sees some problem with it and then immediately ditches it in favor of some new idea that he's totally gung-ho for until cycle repeat.
When he hears what he's actually said, then that's not a good idea anymore.
That sounded better in my head.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that going on. It sounded better in my head. So how would you translate that into the actual read itself? If you want somebody to really think, that you're convinced that, okay, this did sound better in my head than it does actually in real life, how do you bring that out?
Well, that is the question, isn't it?
That is the question, and that's why I pose it.
Yeah.
I've got an idea. but I want to hear your guys' first.
I think there's sort of a change in dynamic because there's an excitement where it gets blurted out, then you're like, whoa.
I think you could bring it out by using different zones, focus into zone 1 and sound sort of introspective, like, that's not really such a good idea. And then, move back a few inches and then project a little bit more. And that would give some differentiation between the two thought processes.
I absolutely love that. I love that. Definitely use the zone reads. Because because as you can hear there is some introspection. Like at the very end of the first paragraph, I guess I can think, like that's the character going into introspection. So that is absolutely a great idea. Go in, like make sure that those introspective parts are brought in closer, and then you back out for the rest of it. But what else? Is there anything else that could show
the speed?
Okay, the speed.
Yeah. Like that last sentence of the first paragraph, he starts slowing down and he's
peters out,
talking to himself almost.
Yeah, it just kind of peters out. It's like, wait, I got another one. Forget that last one. And it's again I had a really good, it doesn't sound that good to me, but I have another one now.
Yeah. Well, and he also has sort of it has this sort of, well, maybe it could work like this. No, that didn't fix it. Kind of.
One thing that really jumps out at me is this repeated cliche, right?
Yeah, it's
and I'm glad you brought that up.
I'm kind of envisioning that as the guy's frantically talking about his idea, and there's an audience of whatever other people that are just staring at him like, "What planet did you come from?" And then he realizes that whatever he's trying to say is not going over. Maybe because it's a cliche.
Well, here's the thing. What is that specifically? Why do you think they would add in cliche right again and again?
Yeah. Well, the first time, interestingly enough, I thought it's different between the first one and the second one. The first one I went like, okay, these guys are all looking at him like this idea is totally not working. And the second one, when he says cliche right, I see it as, it sounds like it wouldn't work, but here's why it actually works.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a difference between those two.
So he's taking those
two. Absolutely.
So he's taking a different approach there. And I did notice that in the third paragraph, which we aren't using, there's also a cliche right.
Yeah, and that's a common thing. The cliche right comes up again and again and again, and that's actually the title of this particular SCP article.
Yeah, I noticed.
Here's the funny thing about that. Let me throw out a different idea when it comes to the cliche rights. Those are apologies.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He's saying, that's stupid, right? I'm sorry. It's
like, those would be sort of delivered as like almost apologetically, almost like an aside.
It was like
physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? I know it's kind of dumb, but still, I want to share it.
The same way each time, because I think Leonard made a good point where he says it after the bringing in a jar that's a guy. I think if I interpret what Leonard said correctly, he's saying, just stick with me on this one.
Yeah, I know it sounds cliche, but here's why it actually works.
Right. Like a totally different tone and
yeah.
Too.
Well, the thing is I still think you could use that as an apology because of the next sentence. Now, if you read the next sentence, it doesn't make much sense. But like the idea here is that I just run with it. Wait, the idea here is I just run with it. What does that mean? Well, why do you think run is italicized? Why do you think that that particular word right there is italicized?
Well, you're emphasizing it.
Yeah, but why?
I think it's because he's already did the apology of cliche, right? But he says, okay, I'm just going to run with it. Just hang with me for a bit longer because I've got some better stuff coming.
There you go. It's the just stick with me here. That's the one. I think there's some some sort of punctuation there that's missing. I would put a dash right after I'd. So then it would come off as instead of, but like the idea here is that I just run with it but like the idea here is that I just run with it. You know, you're telling them, just go with it. Just hear me out. Yeah. I think that's a little bit of an aside there. That would be my personal interpretation of it. If you disagree with that, please let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that cliche right is also sort of, sometimes people have signature phrases, or like there's a character in Overwatch who's always saying, sorry, and you know, this would be, you know,
but here's the thing though, if you did that, and oftentimes those catchphrases they're given a certain space.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would fit right in here. To me, that would sound wrong.
See, actually, I'm in a different place on the second cliche right. To me, it's more an expression like he thinks he's got his audience. He's like, cliche, right? But like the idea here is I just run with it. You know, like it's like he's not apologizing. He's like bringing it up. It's almost like a reflection of the earlier cliche. The first one, I agree, that was an apology. And then he dwindles off. But this time, I think he's got him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the only thing I'm going for with trying to. Well, in my interpretation of this is not being a catchphrase, is it being more of an apology, is that if you give it too much room, it breaks the flow of everything else you're doing. So if you stop, say it, stop, and then move on, that sounds kind of awkward. Like this one is a brain in the jar that's a guy. Cliche, right? But like, so what I'm saying is those cliche rights, however you want to use them, are, and I use the word apology just meaning as it's a little bit more of an aside. It's not necessarily its own thing that needs to stand alone. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't be like this one's a brain in a jar that's a guy. Cliche, right? But more like this one is a brain in a jar that's a guy. Cliche, right? But like, you see what I mean? It's more of like this aside, this parenthetical little quick.
That makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, as an aside, I can see that. And that's kind of what I mean by often we have things that we throw out regularly that are catchphrases, but not like it's our catchphrase that everybody knows us by, but more like somebody who uses like a lot, or somebody who uses sorry excessively, or somebody who says cliche right excessively, that there's just this word pattern that exists that they keep on bringing up.
Okay, so then what it sounds like to me is that we're actually on the same page as it. We're just describing it from two different angles.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay, cool. So now that we got that set, so we've got the idea of who this character is, of what they're doing, of how they're supposed to sound. Is there anything else that anybody might have any questions on or not really understand or might be a little unsure of still?
So the last sentence of the first paragraph, I felt like a few people were struggling with it, exactly how to flow that. Maybe we could discuss it.
Okay. So what did you notice specifically about?
So in the part where it goes fits into a story or anything, but I mean it could be the setting. I guess I can think. So that last, I think, it wasn't exactly clear how to
use it,
how to say he's after the cliche, right? He's going into that sort of introspection, and I don't know. I heard a couple of different presentations of that sentence.
It could go a few different ways.
Yeah, the very last sentence is the one that gives me a little trouble. And I see this as, this whole Mariana's Trench whatever thing is such a cool idea that we got to figure out a way to use it. I don't know how, but we got to figure out a way to use it because it's just so cool.
Well, here's the thing, though. with when we were talking about what this character was like, we were talking that the ideas start up and then they lose steam, they peter out. So I think this is specifically that point where suddenly the character realizes that, oh wait, these stories don't quite make the sense I thought they would. So I think this area right here is where it just breaks down and becomes awkward for the person.
Right.
For the
Awkward
character.
pause, some space between the words, trailing off.
Yeah.
I have to agree.
I really believe that the I think question mark, that should just be a question on its own. So like the rest of it is supposed to be one sentence and then it sort of ends off with I think. Just my interpretation, but if you see something differently, go ahead and give it a try. But particularly in this area, like we were talking about before, this is where the steam is lost. This is where the idea drops. This is where this is where the character fumbles and drops the ball and just doesn't know what to do with it. And sort of abandons it afterwards.
Okay.
Does that help out a little bit?
So what I heard from you, and I think it works for me, is to put a period after setting. So it could, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess.
That's sort of like the desperate offer of the idea. I mean, it could be the setting, I think.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. It's almost like there's a little bit of pleading there. There's a little bit of desperation going on with it.
I'm trying to salvage anything out of his idea that can still be useful.
Exactly. Do you see that now? Is that a little clearer now, Alan?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else have any specifics that they might have noticed or that they'd like to dig into a little bit farther? No? Okay. So now that we have that idea in mind of how this character speaks, of their character traits and whatnot, let's go ahead and start it over again with Richard.
Oh, joy. Here we go.
You got this.
I know. It's my fault for volunteering first. All right. No, wait, guys. I have an idea. A better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something could blow a hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench. Because the facility can do, pretty much anything with physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know how exactly this will fit into the story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess I can think. Guys, I have another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar that's a guy. Cliche, right? But like the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy, nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work, complete nonsense, but it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. Oh, that sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
All right. What did everybody think?
I like that.
Not bad.
Now, that was a good change to the read. One thing that I did notice, though, is that you treated the start of the script as the complete start of everything that the character was saying, and the end of the script as the complete end of everything the character was saying. Because think about it. Why would this character start with, within the first few sentences, a better idea?
Yes,
Because
typical.
they've already,
This
he's
is
already
definitely
had
an excerpt.
anymore.
Yeah, so this is basically just a long string of just ideas, just everything being thrown out there at once.
Yeah, we
Stream
caught
of
him in the middle of the
consciousness.
conversation.
Yeah.
Exactly. This starts in the middle of the idea of the stream of the what is it? Stream of consciousness
There you go.
talk.
And not
yeah.
a very good one at that.
Exactly. So what I'd like to hear from you, is start that off like you're recovering from another previous bad idea that didn't come out right.
Okay.
and that you're going and end the other one off as if you're going to string into another bad idea.
Okay.
So the starting line is long before this script starts, and the ending line is long after this one ends.
All right. Oh, no. Oh, wait, guys. I have an idea. A better idea. There's this facility, right? And it was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth. And after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench, because the facility can do pretty much anything, with physics and technology, I think. Oh, cliche, right? Oh, I don't really know how this exactly fits into the story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess. I can think. Oh, guys, I had another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar. That's a guy. Cliche, right? But like the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy, nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work, complete nonsense, but it's all working. Guys, that guy, his inventions, they could be like a superhero or something. Germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. Oh, that sounds wrong. Let's see. I'll think of something. Oh.
All right. What did everybody think of that, Reed?
Good. The extending the beginning and the end.
Yeah, it definitely gave it a different feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. I missed it. It isn't the beginning, but that's what we have. And so you have a tendency to start and end. I'm done. No, not with this. Is in the middle of some big, who knows how many ideas he's trying to pitch. And none of them sound like they're working very well.
And that's the whole, that's one of the things that I love about doing these starting reads. Just doing them fresh and blank and, just having everybody go for it. I want to see who will pick up on these things. There's a context to every single script, and digging a little bit underneath the surface, seeing the patterns and what's going on here, even in just these two paragraphs, you can catch on pretty quickly that this is actually the middle of what he's saying, and you recovered that and did that really, really well in your last read.
Thanks. Anybody have any suggestions? That's what we're here for, is to get better.
Yes. Anything that anybody noticed that they'd like to hear differently, or
there are a couple of things that I would do differently, but I don't know that Richard's doing them wrong. It's just that I would do them differently.
Okay, well, let's hear the suggestions.
So I'm not really thrilled with the way you're approaching the I just run with it. I don't know quite how to phrase it as to what I'm thinking, but the approach is something completely different from what I do.
Okay.
They're like, the idea here is that I just run with it, is how I do it.
Well, I went ahead and put the dash in like we discussed earlier,
Yeah.
so I kind of did the little pause. The idea here is that I just run with it. Is like he's looking up, and what I'm seeing is the idea here is that and then he's kind of looking at his audiences going, and he's going, no, just run with it. Listen, hear me out is kind of what I get from it.
Yeah, that's a different interpretation from mine, but it's certainly a valid interpretation.
So then let's go ahead and talk about an audience for this. Who do you think this character would be talking to? I mean, I'll tell you afterwards exactly who this character would actually be talking to, but like, what does it sound like this character, like, who does it sound like this character is talking to?
Well, I think he's talking to, I think he's talking to his peers. And again, they're brainstorming. So, I kind of have that same interpretation that Richard had, that, he says, this one is a brain in a jar, and he's getting blank stares like, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, if you've ever sat around and did any kind of script stuff or trying to put something together for a little short bit, that's kind of how it goes. You got somebody that maybe has a huge stream of consciousness, and when they're done, everybody goes, Thanks. And then they go on to something else oftentimes.
I just sort of.
But
Yeah.
go ahead.
I just have this image of a bunch of people sort of sitting around trying to put together something, and this character is off in the corner and trying desperately to get in. It's like, hey, hang on, I've got an idea. Let me join you guys, kind of. And then they look at him, and he's like, oh, sorry. And then he tries again.
Okay. So
Kind of like the bouncy squirrel that's just all goes down, and then he.
Yeah. I see these almost as cartoon characters.
Mm-hmm.
it almost is, and it's almost a cartoony situation. This character is actually simply speaking to some really serious, straight-faced guards guarding their containment area. So literally, the people who are listening have zero interest in what's going on. They're just there because they're being paid to be there. This particular character just talks to whoever will listen. It doesn't matter who, and it doesn't matter how much attention they actually pay. So, like, there are different sections that describe attempting to retrieve samples from this particular entity, and the thing is still just talking. It just doesn't care what's going on. So it's sort of lost in its own world, but understands that this is, that it doesn't quite have all of its eggs in one basket.
And that's kind of why he's going. He's trying to pitch these ideas, and he might as well be talking to a brick wall because there's not any more emotion than that.
Exactly. So that's who the audience to this is. Probably trying to elicit some kind of response, but probably probably totally used to hearing. I just combined totally and used to it a toast. I did that. That happened right here on the mic check. Don't miss us.
So then my interpretation in the beginning might not be right then. I interpreted the no as he's interrupting someone else who's giving an idea and kind of, injecting his own. But if he's talking to people who don't care, then I guess it's unclear. I'm not sure how that flows.
Yeah, I'm thinking the no is he's responding to people who have just dismissed his last idea.
Well, the thing is they probably did that, but completely implicitly. They didn't actually say that's a bad idea. Mm-hmm. As you can see, this character literally just goes from one to the next. These two paragraphs are not edited in any way differently than what you'll find. Okay. Which means that there is nothing going on in between. This person is literally not getting any feedback. So the no is just forget that idea. We're moving to this one.
Yeah.
Guys, I had another idea. Forget that one. This one is a better. This one's a better idea.
So he's talking to a couple of guards
who have zero interest. Probably have heard these ideas string out for hours on end and are just completely ignoring them.
He's even probably getting eye rolls.
Yeah.
I like the way Richard did it because it was like he was going, like he'd reached the end of his previous idea and was like, no, that doesn't work. And then is like, oh, wait.
Yeah. So with that,
guys, I have an idea, a better idea.
Yeah. Do you want to have
go from?
He has a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and give us one more read, knowing who the audience is now?
Okay. No. Wait, guys, I have an idea, a better idea. There's this facility, right? And it was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N. That hole could just be the Marianas Trench, because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? Yeah, I don't really know how exactly this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess I can think. Guys, I had another idea. Forget that last one. This one is a brain in a jar. That's a guy. cliche, right? But like the idea here is that I just run with it now. Crazy, nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work, complete nonsense. But it's all working. Guys, that guy, his inventions could be like, a superhero or something. Germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. Oh, that sounds wrong. Oh, I'll think of something.
All right. Did that sound any different now that we had an idea of who the audience was?
It's been long enough since the previous read, so I don't remember if it sounds different or not.
Thank goodness I'm not the only one.
There were a few changes. There was a little bit of a difference there, and I really liked it. So I thought you did a good job.
Oh, thanks.
Then again, I really liked the last read that you had, anyways. So I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was bad at all.
Well, it's fun to get all these different things, because if you're just sitting in your booth and sometimes after you've done marketing and that, you go, yeah, I should be practicing, and you find stuff and you practice it, and it's just like getting some feedback and having someone to listen when you're used to just being me, myself, and I in my box, as the wife calls it. You going in your box? So I appreciate being here. That's what we're all here for, is to learn and try to improve our craft.
Well, absolutely. And you did a great job. So thank you.
Thanks.
Let's see.
Thank
Next up, Golda, right?
Do we want to see if Dan can do a quick read since he's got a brief break?
Well, Dan, would you like to give us a quick read?
All right, how's my connection?
It's all right.
It's all right? Okay, because I'm at work again, so you remember those days.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot.
All right.
I'm going to go off of what Richard did just because I didn't really hear the whole mic check.
All right, no worries.
No. Wait, guys. I have an idea. A better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past, too, to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like, something could blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went, game over, play again, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench, because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know how this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be a setting. I guess I can. Oh, guys, I had another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar. That's a God, cliche, right? But like, the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy, nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work. Complete nonsense, but it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
All right. Well, I do have a question for you, Dan. Do you think you'd be, like, are you going to be stuck there the rest of the night? Okay. All right. He said, yep. Okay. Because I wouldn't mind going through a little bit more of what we agreed upon.
I'm going to be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to probably be.
Okay. All right. Then we'll give you a little bit extra time right here then. So what we agreed upon is that this character is really help me out here. How do you think would be the easiest to describe this character? I'll open it up to the mic check to sort of let Dan know what we agreed on.
We were talking about he's kind of an ADD individual loaded with ideas, talking to maybe a couple of guards that are doing nothing but staring back at him, and maybe on occasion might roll their eyes when they think his idea is just absolutely the worst. That's when he kind of peters out, and then he comes back with another fantastic idea.
Impulsive, indecisive, kind of talks before he thinks.
Has a lot of. I thought that sounded a lot better in my brain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that would be like this character's catchphrases. That sounded a lot better in my head.
Yes.
So there's a lot of enthusiasm for
Kind
the
of how
idea.
it's going.
Yeah, the
I
idea is
was-
that there's
I was trying to follow the form. I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, the thing is you did all right, but you kept the same excitement while slowing down the read. And that sounded like you were just attacking words slower towards the end of the towards the end of the script and towards the end of the sentences and whatnot, when the idea is that this person is throwing out the ideas, they're finally listening to it themselves and thinking, oh wait, this is actually a bad idea. So one thing that that John brought up was to use zones for this one. There's some introspection here in what's being said. Like at the end of the first paragraph, there's like, I think, I mean, I guess I can think, you know, that's a little bit more of an aside, a little bit more of a personal note. And then they can back off and be like, oh, guys, I had another idea, you know, like you go from introspection to backing up and speaking aloud. The cliche rights are sort of throwaway lines because this person is realizing that what they're saying is kind of stupid. Don't worry, this whole diatribe, if you actually read the article itself, the whole diatribe ends with laser butt disease, so you were doing okay right here.
Yeah, I could have gone all night without hearing that. Thanks.
Oh, actually,
You're
that
welcome.
helps.
So the
That helps put
cliche
things
right
in
is like
perspective for me.
Sorry, say again, Dan?
the cliche right is the turnaround. The cliche right is like
What we sort of agreed upon, is that the cliche right is almost like an apology. It's this aside. It should be in parentheses. It shouldn't be this standout thing that's said, you know, like with physics and technology, I think cliche, right? Like it isn't an actual legitimate question. It's more of like a suggestion, you know, cliche, right?
and then it turns around and he starts slowing down.
Yeah, that's
Right
like
after
that first
I don't
cliche
really know
right
how
is.
this fits into it.
Yeah, exactly. That first cliche, right, is that turnaround.
And
Is
the
that
second
turnaround of,
one is
yeah, this actually doesn't make any sense. I mean, I really don't know how exactly this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, so the second one,
and then the second one is like he goes defensive.
a little bit, yeah. But again, it's sort of this quick aside. You know, it's Brandon Jar, that's a guy, cliche, right? But like the idea that we had, so one of the things that we also threw out there as a potential interpretation of that sentence afterward, where it says, but like the idea here is that I just run with it, is that there should actually be a dash after I'd. Because the just run with it should be a suggestion to the people who are listening. But like the idea here is that okay, just run with it. See what I mean? Like it's almost this like nudge in the ribs. Just run with it, and then goes into the idea in quick succession. Crazy nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work, complete nonsense. You know, that's what's happening there. It's like, hey, just give me your attention for 3 more seconds. I'll get the rest of the story out there. So yeah, go ahead and give us another read.
I got a large majority of it. I'm not sure if I caught all of it, but here we go. No, wait, guys, I have a better idea. No, wait, guys, I have an idea. A better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth. And after the facility went, game over, play again, nice slashing, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench. Because the facility can do pretty much anything. With physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know how exactly this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. Yes, I can think. Guys, I had another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar. That's a guy. Cliche, right? But like the idea here is that I just run with it. No, sorry, gotcha. But like the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy, nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work, complete nonsense. But it's all working. Guys, that guy in his invention could be like a superhero or something. Jeremy Vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
All right, that was actually a much better read that time around. What did everybody else think?
Yeah. I agree.
Did I
Also
get
the,
everything that you
yes,
talked
improved.
about?
Yeah, you did. The only thing is the Y/N thing, because it's supposed to be
Yeah.
like a yes or no selection screen. So Y is in the letter Y / letter N. Yes,
Oh.
no.
Game over. Play
Mhm.
again.
Yes or no?
I was wondering what that was, man.
Yeah.
I tried to explain it with the literal Y/N, but
Yeah,
it would have been
didn't-
much
I didn't
clearer if they
catch it.
didn't write it out the way they wrote it out.
I know, but it's good that we expose
Yeah.
ourselves to stuff like
Yeah.
that so you can see it and try to parse it out.
yeah.
I would have said yes or no if it was a Y/N.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
there's
yeah,
Y
exactly.
/N.
So they were trying to basically what this character was thinking of is just what they're seeing on the screen. It might be like a CRT display, green and black. Game
Yes.
over, play again, ? And then yes/no, and the yes is like blinking, something like that.
Is it a Y60?
But yeah, no, that was actually a really,
So it's
really
game over.
improved
Play
game.
again. Y/N. And after the facility went game over. Play again. Y/N. That hole could just be the Marianas Trench. Okay. Yep. Oh no, they're coming back in. All right,
Okay.
guys.
Hey, thanks for the read. Good
I'm
job.
glad I got to get in here.
You did good.
All
right. Golda,
All right. Now it's my turn. All right.
give us the female interpretation of this character. You've got this.
All right. No. Wait, guys. I have an idea. A better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench. Because the facility can pretty much do anything with physics and technology. I think cliche, right? I don't really know how exactly this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting. I think. I guess I can think. Guys, I have another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar. That's a guy. Cliche, right? But like the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy nutty professor type. Nutty inventions that don't work. Complete nonsense. But it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Jeremy Vacuum, the vacuum brain. I'm totally blowing out the microphone. Sorry about that. Jeremy Vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
All right. What did everybody think of that read?
I like the character. It just seemed to be constantly up here.
Yeah.
I think we missed a little bit of the ebb and flow with what goes on with the thought process and then having it come out.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
like all one tone.
Yep.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, Golda, if I may point out something that I've seen over several reads,
Yeah.
is that when we talk about excited, you get up to this really breathy, sort of like pushed out, high pitched feel. When that's not always the case. I think here with this, it's more important to add personal importance
Mhm.
that's lost over time. So the ideas become important, and then they become
Less.
stupid.
Mhm.
It's like, this looks like gold, but actually it's lead.
Okay.
You know,
the knife and scraped it away.
Instead of-
Yep, it's lead underneath.
Instead of, I just downed 5 shots of espresso and now I'm crashing.
Okay.
I think here the best use of that of your voice and of your performance would be to give things weight and importance, like be present in the idea and then start losing interest along with the people who are hearing.
Sounds good. I'll give that a shot. No. Wait, guys. I have an idea. A better idea. There's this facility, right? it was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, the hole could just be the Marianas Trench, because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology. I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know how exactly this fits into the story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess I can think. Guys! I have another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar that's a guy. Cliche, right? But the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work, complete nonsense. But it's all working, guys. This guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Dreamy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
Okay. This time around, you went from like excited to desperate. Did anybody else catch that? Am I the only one who heard that?
Okay.
Nope, that's what I heard too.
Yeah, it went like excited to desperate. It should be excited to bored.
Excited to bored.
Yeah, because this facility can do pretty much anything with like physics and technology. I think, cliche, right? I don't really know how exactly this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting. I think. You see what I mean? Like it goes from being this importance to just like deflating in importance. Like, well, yeah, that's right. It is a stupid idea.
Okay, so
You're coming to this realization that what you're saying is stupid. Like that's how this is written. Like,
okay.
What's coming out is dumb. You're not pleading for people to try to listen to you. You think you're coming up with these great ideas, but as they're coming out, you realize that no, these are actually terrible ideas.
Yeah.
I almost kind of would want to take the beginning of the first read and the end of the second read with each paragraph and kind of merge them a little bit, right?
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like both reads had the right elements for certain parts of the script, and if you put it together, you're going to knock it out of the park.
Mm-hmm. So it should start with important and excited, and then drain out to unimportant, boring, and stupid idea. Like it's just it's just the enthusiasm and the importance that you give it, rather than the vocal tension and the energy that you try to put into it.
Yeah. At the end, you still want to sell them on something, but you don't want to sell them on that because you realize that was the wrong thing to sell.
Okay. All right. Let's see if I can figure that one. Yeah, because I'm never getting any feedback from them. It's just it's entirely internal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you're internal, but you got something internal. You're basically, you're on the same page as them. You just don't know it.
Okay.
You're tired of hearing yourself too.
All right. No. Guys, I have an idea, a better idea. There's this facility, right? And it's made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, the hole could just be the Marianas Trench. Because the facility can pretty much do anything with physics and technology. I think. Cliche, right? I don't exactly know how this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess I can think. Guys, I have another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar. It's a guy. Cliche, right? But like, the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy nutty professor type. Nutty inventions that don't work. Complete nonsense. But it's all working. Guys, the guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
Okay. Much better this time around. Okay. But I think you're sort of missing the deflation points. Like you start doing that, but like, all right. Let's take the second paragraph, for example.
Okay.
So, guys, I had another idea. Forget that one. This one. This one's a brain in a jar that's a guy. Cliche, right? But, like, the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work, complete nonsense, but it's all working. Like, that's another epiphany point. Do you see that? You see how that, like, pops up? Like, this character's going through, and it's like, okay, yeah, this is all kind of cliche, but no, wait, they're all actually working. And it's like, wait, guys, why do you think guys would be there? It's not just grabbing attention. That's another, like, epiphany point. The light just turned on right there with that.
Okay.
Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether we were like trying to come up with something but getting bored there or later.
Well, no, you're getting really invested into this bad idea. That's what's happening.
Okay.
Like, that's what the character is doing. Like, as the script goes along, the character's getting really invested in a bad idea. That's exactly what's happening here.
Okay.
And then, I just got this where it says germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. To me, that sounds like the superhero name introduction.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like, germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong.
Yeah.
You know, you
I
just
always
realize
thought
that.
vacuum should be capital because it's germy vacuum.
Yeah, exactly.
Vacuum.
The vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong.
Okay.
You know, something like that, where you're investing. This character is investing energy and focus into bad ideas, and then realizing they're bad ideas.
Okay. So on the first paragraph,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that it was getting feel that it's stupid at that. I don't really know how this exactly fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting. I mean, like, is it right after the cliche, right? Or
I think it's leading up to the cliche, right? I think the cliche, right, is sort of the realization that's actually a bad idea.
okay, that was what I was reading on that one.
Yeah, and you hit that. You did hit that.
All right, cool. So we'll try and do this one more time. No. Wait, guys, I have an idea, a better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like someone could blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, the hole could just be the Marianas Trench, because the facility can pretty much do anything with physics and technology. I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know how exactly this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting. I guess I can think. Guys, I have another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar. That's a guy. Cliche, right? But like, the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work, complete nonsense. But it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in the jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
Okay. Yeah, at the end of that one, you went back into that pleading form, that pleading sound,
Sorry.
that pleading energy.
Again, there again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. Remember, you're slowly realizing this is actually a bad idea.
Yeah. Germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
Okay. But in general, what did everybody else think?
I thought she had a better, in the read, the character had, it sounded like they were this time around thinking about what it was they were trying to say, trying to come up with the ideas as things were rolling, and you got things in it, it's this. So I thought she did a lot better job of that. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
Very believable read.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, I'd agree. Alrighty then. Well, if nobody has anything else to say, why don't we go ahead and move
for Golda.
Yeah, good job, Golda. Good job. All right, who is next?
I am.
Leonard, take it away.
Okay. No, wait. Guys, I have an idea, a better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went, game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could be the Marianas Trench because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know exactly where this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess I can think. Guys, I had another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar. That's a guy. Cliche, right? But like the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy, nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work, complete nonsense, but it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Germy Vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
All right, opening it up. What did everybody think?
When you run through that list of the crazy professor's things he's come up with, pause just a little bit so that the reader, listener, whatever can interpret what you're saying, kind of form an image. You ran through that list so fast that didn't give anybody the time to kind of think about what you were saying and form the picture in their mind.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, and in that part when he's doing, you're talking about the list and that in the second paragraph, right? But it's all working, guys. And you can tell that they're just, at this point, maybe they're rolling their eyes, but let them know, hey, this is about to get better. So, guys, just right along with me here. You just kind of ran over top of the periods, I think. It all kind of mushed together.
Try to sound like you're trying to sell it a little bit more, too. You're just being very matter of fact in the first part of the read. It's kind of making statements, but you're trying to draw people into your way of thinking here, like trying to sell them on this idea, and that didn't really come across.
Okay. Yeah, I was going for, well, he's talking faster than he's thinking, so I was going for talking faster.
Also, the talking faster than you're thinking is more of an idea rather than an actual speed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So again, you're married to these bad ideas, you're investing in the bad ideas, and then you're realizing they're bad as they go along. Your brain catches up with how bad they are. So I wouldn't necessarily say stick with that speed, but I would definitely say stick with that mindset of these are actually really bad ideas. And I didn't realize that until just now. Holy crap.
It's like the mouth said it and then the ears heard it and you're going, what? Even I don't believe it.
So give that a try. Go for it.
No, wait. Guys, I have an idea, a better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth. And after the facility went, game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench, because that facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know how exactly this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess I can think. Guys, I had another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar. That's a guy. Cliche, right? But like the idea is here that I just run with it. The idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy, nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work. Complete nonsense, but it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Germy Vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
All right. What did everybody think of that, Reed?
It was better. I think there was improvement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not hearing the thought process of the character. I don't know how else to say it. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
it's not coming across that way. I don't know what it is, but it's if you've ever had an idea you're trying to give to somebody, sometimes I'm got your disease. I hope you're happy, Michael. Your eyes will dart back and forth from side to side while you're thinking, trying to come up with the next thing, and need to hear, I guess, the thought process.
Yeah, to echo that, just to give an example, that line where it says, just run with it, Michael suggested we add that dash. And, actually, I think it sort of adding the dash works. I mean, it's almost like, the guy pauses and he can see the people staring back at him, and he's just like holding them back. And it's those little pauses and things that I think do what Richard is trying to say.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm getting it like, in essence, there isn't a thought process. The ideas spring into his mind fully formed, and then the only thought process is figuring out that, oh, it wasn't such a good idea after all.
Well, if you read it and you take into account all the punctuation and everything that's in there, this actually is sort of like a start and stop, halting string of epiphanies that keep popping up.
Mm.
Like, there's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like you're slowly bringing these together and then stringing all the ideas into one solid concept. So, like, with these different new elements that this character is throwing into each one of these sentences, you might want to take a little bit of a mental, okay, this is the next part. Maybe they're still exploring these ideas as well. Again, they're investing into these bad ideas, but there's some exploration when it comes to investment.
Okay. I kind of disagree with the approach, but you guys are the directors, and I'm easily outnumbered, and I will do what the directors say.
It's not about outnumbering you.
Yeah, I know.
If you had a different idea that you want to go with, go for it. What I'm trying to do is zero in on what's been said before, that this is sort of an exploration of the ideas and whatnot. Again, I'm not claiming that I am the ultimate final word in this whole thing. Well, that's why I keep asking, if somebody hears something different, if somebody sees something different, please let me know, because I want to hear all the different sides of this. If you do disagree with it, go for it how you think it is. Like, forget the direction we gave you. Go for it exactly how you imagine this going.
Okay. Well, I've done that, so now I'll do it more your way.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried putting in more. Yeah, sorry, Golda?
I'd say just look at the punctuation and make sure that comes through in your idea. But even if it's fully there, maybe he's looking for the words, or I don't know. But the punctuation seemed to hint at a shifting conversation, I guess.
Okay. Well, anyway, what I'm hearing from all of you guys is slow down, more pauses, that sort of thing.
Yeah, give it a try.
So let's go with that. No, wait, guys, I have an idea, a better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like, something could blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench, because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know exactly how this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, or I guess I can think. Guys, I had another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar that's a guy. Cliche, right? But like, the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy, nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work. Complete nonsense, but it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Jeremy Vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
All right. I actually really enjoyed that read. What did everybody else think, though?
Much improved. It sounded like somebody thinking about ideas and trying to sell them on the spot. It worked way better.
Yeah, it really did fit that whole manic, aimless, sort of grasping feel that we were kind of going for at the beginning. That was actually, I think, your best read of the night so far.
I would agree.
So I agree with what everyone says. If I was to just give a slight bit of feedback, I would just add back a slight bit of energy to the beginnings, but don't lose what you did there. Just sort of up it in terms of energy. But otherwise, I thought that was good. I agree that it worked better.
Yeah, that's what I was missing. I was going, there's something else, and you're right, Alan. It was the just because you're making pauses and having to start, stop, and slow down doesn't mean the energy goes away. And I think that's what was missing. Is that kind of what you're saying, Alan? It was.
Yeah,
he was trying to slow it down. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I would also agree with that. But in general, I would have been very happy with that read if I was directing this personally. I would have taken that as a final cut. Good job.
I'll take that.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Alrighty then.
John?
John.
Yes. And someone's going to try to come in the booth right now.
And they can join you.
Timing is everything in this world. Mine is not good sometimes, but anyway.
Now, are you going to have to step away? Or?
No. All right. So where were we? Oh, yeah, we were going to read. It's my turn, right?
Your turn.
All right. The only thing I was thinking is that some of the things I missed out on some of the other reads was this is in the middle of probably a long stream of consciousness, and it starts off with him yet dismissing another bad idea. On to the next one. So I'm going to go from that point. No. Wait, guys, I have an idea. A better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth, and then after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N. That hole could just be the Marianas Trench, because the facility can pretty much do anything with physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know how exactly this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess I could think. Guys, I had another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar that's a guy. Cliche, right? But like, the idea here is just run with it. Crazy, nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work, complete nonsense. But it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Jeremy Vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
I am impressed. That was a fantastic read.
Thank you.
Well, what
was
did everybody else
subdued, but it still worked with the character because
Yeah.
that's kind of John's personality, and it was like this guy, but he's still thinking about it, and it doesn't have. I don't think you need to have the over-the-top sometimes enthusiasm that I might have, but I think it worked really. I'm with you. I think that worked really well for John. It still
absolutely
caught all the pauses, and I could hear the thought process going on. I thought you did really well with that, John.
Thank you. One thing that Michael has said in the past that's kind of stuck with me is you can always dial back whatever you're trying to come across with. So I started off with frantic at 11. And then, dial it back appropriately. And, a lot of it came from hearing other interpretations too.
Well, still, it felt more like that was you reliving a situation where you were trying to come up with those ideas. Like you probably had those situations in the past where you want to throw out an idea, whether you do it to somebody else or whether you just do it on your own, and then you sort of realize it was a bad idea, or you just sort of lose interest in it as it goes along. To me, that performance felt personal, and that's why it felt real. So I don't know what you tapped into to do it, but it was fantastic.
I felt on the second paragraph, it felt a little like this is a brain in a jar, that's a guy. I felt like you were saying that a little too matter of fact, and I could have used a little more excitement on that one. I mean, that the whole idea there is the greatest thing since sliced bread until it isn't, but at that point it still is.
I hear you. Okay.
Anybody else have any feedback for him? No? All right. Well, why don't you go for it again?
Okay. No. Wait. Guys, I have an idea. A better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench, because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know exactly how this fits into the story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess I can think. Guys, I have another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar that's a guy. Cliche, right? But like the idea here is I just run with it. Crazy, nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work, complete nonsense, but it's all working. Guys, this guy and his invention could be like a superhero or something. Jeremy Vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
A slightly different interpretation to it, and equally as good. I really don't have any personal notes for you or anything like that. You took all of the direction well, and you performed it really, really well.
Everybody needs to be themselves and have their personality. Like you say, you hear different audiobooks and you'd go, might not have read it that way, but it works. And it's kind of along those lines. So, 2 thumbs up.
Does anybody else have anything they'd like to say to John?
I just muted myself. I didn't even see it. Okay. Anyway, in the interest of time, let's pass the torch.
All right, who's next?
You are.
My turn. My turn. Look at that. All right. I'm already getting into character. I'm already getting into character. Okay, yeah, it's already going well. All right. No. Wait, guys, I have an idea, a better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench, because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? But I mean, I really don't know how this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess I can think. Guys, I had another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar that's a guy. Cliche, right? But like, the idea here is that just run with it. Crazy nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work, complete nonsense. But it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Jeremy Vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
Okay. Yeah, I like the way you treated that kind of inner thought process as you're realizing it's falling apart there at the end. So a completely different interpretation than I did and some of the others, but it really worked.
Yeah, you're already hearing what you're going to be saying almost before you say it, and it's coming. The vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the idea that I had, at least with that. But was there anything that you guys would like to hear differently, or maybe that I could change or improve or anything?
A really small thing where you had like a better idea with a really long pause in there, and it felt a little
slightly
unnatural.
less of a pause. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, maybe just a little bit more energy, a little bit more excited about what you're saying until you're not.
Okay.
Yep.
So a little bit more excitement, less of a pause. Anything else?
Not really. That's pretty much it.
Let's give it a go. No. Wait, guys, I have an idea, a better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench, because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know how exactly this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess I can think. Guys, I had another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar that's a guy. Cliche, right? But like, the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work, complete nonsense. But it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Germy Vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
Good.
That hit the points a little bit more.
That was better.
Okay. That was better.
Golf clap.
Okay.
It was pretty good to begin with, too.
Yeah, I mean, it really was good to begin with, but you like enhanced it.
All right.
Yeah, you gave it a little more energy, and just that little tiny boost in things really it really helped a lot. You could really hear all the thought processes going on about the stories you're trying to sell that suck.
Awesome. Well, that was what I was going for. Thank you. Who was up next?
Alan.
Okay. No. Wait. Guys, I have an idea. A better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something that could blow a big hole in the earth. And after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench, because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know how exactly this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be a setting, I think. I guess I can think. Guys, I had another idea. Forget that one. This one is a brain in a jar. That's a guy. Cliche, right? But like, the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy nutty professor type. Nutty inventions that don't work, complete nonsense, but it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Germy Vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
Okay. What did everybody think of that?
You made me smile, Alan. I like the way you did it, man. That was awesome. I'm listening. I heard hearing the thought process, and then it's like, it's a superhero, Germy Vacuum. I had never thought of that. That was done really well.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. Good.
Anything else? Any improvements that you guys think he could have made to his read?
One note there on the game over, play again, Y/N. I see those all as running together, like they're one package. So instead of having like pauses to separate into three parts.
Okay.
So, anyone else have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I did notice that seemed to not flow as much as the rest. And
Oh yeah, Golda, you can turn the gain on your mic back up. You're still you're kind of quiet right now.
Since I'm no longer over projecting.
Yeah.
I agree with what Leonard said. And then also it's not the Mariners as much as I enjoyed the team, it's the Marianas sketch.
I totally missed that.
Yes, excuse me on that.
I only caught the name of a local team.
Yeah, the Mariners used to dig a trench. They sucked horrible, but they're actually well this year.
One little piggy thing, Alan, you put a pretty long pause between pretty much anything with physics and technology. It's like there was a period there, a full stop. To me, I don't even think there's really too much cause for the comma. It could really kind of run together.
So let me just explain why I did that. So in my head, I said, because the facility can do pretty much anything, and I'm getting these blank stares with physics and technology. I'm responding to the stares, so that's what I'm trying to do.
I get that. Then project that. That's not a bad thought. Then, well, they can do pretty much anything with physics and technology. Like, don't you get it?
That's what I was going for. Maybe I didn't quite hit it. That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, the pause, it can work, but again, just like John stated, you definitely want to like almost offer that last part up on a silver platter. You can do pretty much anything, like physics and technology. You like use your hands, like physics and technology. Come on, please accept the idea. Yeah, you're trying to get it. And that's why you sort of end off with the I think. That's the you're questioning yourself part, and then it all breaks down afterwards.
Exactly.
The other thing is when you're doing your excited section, you add a lot of vocal tension into your voice that stays at the same level until you just sort of drop it off and then start fading down. Again, like we mentioned before, excitement can also mean importance. Energy means importance. So like these ideas can mean a lot to you, kind of like the way that John did it. Like when you heard his performance, it's not that like there was this whole massive amount of excitement that he was bringing out, but it did sound important to him, right? That's what I'd love to hear out of this from you. Like, be married to the idea until you realize it's stupid.
Yeah, I got a little bit of that too with the brain in a jar. The read was like, this one is a brain in a jar. And I'd go more like, this one is a brain in a jar. So maybe that's just me, but for what it's worth.
Okay.
Anyway, go for it.
Okay. No. Wait. Guys, I have an idea. A better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something to blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench. Because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology. I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know exactly how this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting. I guess I can think.
Let me pause you right there. Do you feel that tension was still in your voice? Because it was when you were going out. At this end here is almost apologetic. You're almost like trying to salvage it for what it's worth, and you still have that tension in your voice, like you're pleading. Like you're sort of agreeing, like after the I think cliche, right? You're sort of agreeing that now, yes, this is a bad idea, so let's just salvage it for what it's worth, So what it sounded like was, I think cliche, right? I don't really know exactly how this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting. I guess I can think. You see how that sounds pleading? You're more agreeing and salvaging. Cliche, right? I really don't know exactly how this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. Do you see what I mean? Do you see the difference that I'm trying to go for there?
Yeah, I do, but I wouldn't have thought or noticed that without you pointing it out.
Well, that's why I felt it important to go ahead and stop you right there, just to review that a little bit. Yeah, the I think part. Why would this person say I think? And cliche, right? Why would that be included? Well, cliche is always accepted as this bad thing. Whenever somebody says cliche, it usually has a negative connotation to it. It's like, oh, everybody's done that before. That's so cliche. So that's sort of the admission that, yes, this is a bad idea. Let's just salvage maybe what we can from it because I'd like it to be a good idea.
So to say this in my own words, I think what you're saying is that I'm sort of in one frame of mind before the cliche right, and what you're hearing is sort of a bleed through.
Yes.
So that when I try to sort of get softer and introspective, it's almost, like I'm holding on to another character and not switching.
Yes.
Okay. I can try it again.
Yeah, just take it from like something to blow a big hole in the earth. Just take it from there to the end.
Okay. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth. And after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench. Because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology. I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know exactly how this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting. I think. I guess I can think.
Much, much better. Did everybody else hear that switch to the accepting that it was a bad idea?
Mm-hmm. It was like, yeah, you guys are right. That just sucks. And he's already like, he's dismissed. You did really well. It sounded like, yeah, I'm dismissing this. And then you're coming up on that next paragraph where, okay, reload. Here we go again.
Okay.
What did everybody else think? Got it. You stunned them all.
The only thing I would say is the cliche right needed to sound a little bit more like an apology, like you had mentioned earlier. It was kind of matter of fact, but the other reads, it sort of treated it like an aside, but in a pattern break. Oh, cliche, right? Anyway.
Yeah. So I think cliche right is the agreeing. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, this was a dumb idea. Cliche, right? You can't maintain eye contact while you're saying that because you're kind of.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
So why don't you go ahead, give it a try. This time all the way through. I won't interrupt you.
Okay. No. Wait. Guys, I have an idea. A better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from the apocalypse. Like something could blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, Y/N, that hole could just be the Marianas Trench because the facility can do pretty much anything with physics and technology. I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know exactly how this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting. I think. I guess I can think. Guys, I had another idea. Forget that one. This one. This one is a brain in a jar. That's a guy. Cliche, right? But like, the idea here is that I just run with it. Crazy nutty professor type. Nutty inventions that don't work. Complete nonsense. But it's all working. Guys, that guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Germy vacuum. The vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something.
All right. What did everybody think of that, Reed?
I thought that one was good. Kind of put everything together.
Absolutely.
Took the direction well.
Bravissimo, another golf clap.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a very much so improved read. Alan, did that feel different to you?
Yes, it did, and it's really, I really think these character reads are very helpful because it sort of forces you to, to do a lot of different things in the read.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think the main thing that these character reads do that I feel is super important is that it forces you to think of the context of the read. It forces you to think about everything that's going on around the character as well. Because think about the reads that we had before. They were all pretty good. I mean, everybody got the idea that this was a quick, basically lightning round of ideas, and that this person was sort of a little disorganized. But there were little nuances, there were little things that sort of strung the ideas together that were missing from the first reads that we got now, because we dug in, we found the context, the story between the lines, putting the plug in, and it brought it out this time beautifully. So I think that's everybody.
Yep.
I think we all went, unless my phone wants to have a turn. It's good. It's good. All right. But no, yeah, that last read was absolutely fantastic. You stuck with it really, really well. You took the directions really well. It really felt like you got into the character a little bit more.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
No, thank you. All right, everybody. That concludes the recorded portion of the mic check. Thank you so much for joining us this week, and we hope to see you next time. Take it easy.
Join us every Monday for free script practice. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter too. If you liked what you saw, then subscribe for more.